I figured I'd just start this over from the jump because I like talking more than 90 seconds and I don't give a fuck about the way Instagram, TikTok, and all this other shit is structured. I just don't care. I'm not being limited, and if you want to watch this, you watch it on your own time, and I appreciate that. So, the long and short of the first half is a Corvid died on my roof. I'm not sure if it was a crow or a raven, but the motherfucker was huge. I want to say it was a crow because its beak wasn't huge. I don't know. I'm not a huge fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know all this stuff off the top of my head, and I'm not even going to pretend to know everything just because I Google a quick thing and act like an expert. But anyway, it died. And it was there for a few days because my pops was like, something will eat it. And then over time, I sat there and I'm like, this is like, if you believe in God however you want, I'm not offending you what I say here, but I need you to understand it. God exists in more ways than you currently believe and comprehend. That goes for me too, because I'm always learning. This is God's way of reaching out to me because I have West African and some Irish roots, like literally in my blood. I know what I'm talking about type deal. And I've always found a fascination with Celtic mythology, namely the Morrigan. And where the Corvid died on the roof was by my window, and it was right under, like it was right above where my guitar sits under the windowsill. My guitar is a beautiful black Jackson. It's like a Jackson, it's a Jackson V. It's just not a symmetrical V. I forget the exact model. I've had it since I was in high school. And I named it Raven a long time ago. So if you are open to this type of synchronistic connection between the divine, the macrocosm and microcosm, you can see where this is going. And if you're not, but you're curious, I really commend you because it takes a lot of courage to not only delve into spirituality, but to do it on your own terms and to remain open to others' perspectives and experiences. It takes a lot of courage to do that. So if you hear from that, thank you. I'm doing something off screen here that I can't really show on YouTube or whatever. It don't fucking matter. But after a few days, like 3 days or so, and that's another thing. It happened the night/day that I did not sleep. Like I stayed up basically a whole day. I got like an hour of sleep after the fact. But out of all the times, places, and circumstances, all of this happened the way it did. And I realized that, you know, something probably could have came along and ate it, but for the amount of wild animals we have around here that will eat the garbage the same night we put it out, it didn't feel like anything was coming for this Corvid. And I actually wasn't feeling good because it was just sitting there. And if I get emotional, I'll explain that too. But I got it off the roof. Beforehand, I set up a little honorary resting ground. From what I recall, Corvids like shiny objects. So I put out some very sentimental shiny objects. One of them was a, like I could sort of turn a little foil thing into like an origami thing. I had a butterfly pendant, and I sat it next to the resting site, and I put out some almonds, some granola, some oats. Not directly on the body. Literally, it's just on the ground near the resting zone. Oh, whoops. Well, you know what I'm doing now. I'm writing a small note to myself. We'll say that. This is a very small piece of note paper. See, there's nothing here. There's nothing here. Anyway, I don't care. Freedom of speech, right? That's what everybody be talking about. And they be saying the most outlandish shit. Meanwhile, all I'm doing is partaking in nature. Anyway, I gave it a resting, I rested it, and I did it last night. Well, yesterday evening, while the sun was still out. Like, I was going to do it today. Today's a Monday. And I did it yesterday while the sun was still out. Like, I felt something, like, literally shoot up from here to, like, the back of my head and then to here. It was like, why not just do it now while the sun's still out? And I didn't sit and deliberate. I was like, okay, let me go do this. I did that myself, you know, like dealing, like, to some it might not seem like nothing, but you could parade whatever type of facade you want. Everybody got something they're a little hesitant on. But I did it because I'm like, all this talk about me, you know, loving the Morgon and wanting to show respect. This is literally my best opportunity. So I got familiar with what it feels like to dispose of what I call an ally, and I'll get to that in a minute, because I've been processing anger this whole week. Anger for myself for mistakes I've made, but angers of people who I've known in my life who weren't perfect either, whether they like to admit it or not, whether they like to talk about it or not. And I talk about how much releasing that anger feels good. And I'm sitting there. I laid the crow down. Crow, raven, corvid. I'm pretty sure it was a crow at this point, but let's not get into semantic satiation here, please. So I laid it to rest under some shrubs, some vegetation, away from the shade. And then it clicked that I did that, and I'm like giving it a eulogy, and I'm like, what the fuck am I getting sad and shit, dog? So I'm like, you were sitting out in this hot ass fucking weather. In this cold ass fucking dark. You were literally susceptible to the elements at your most vulnerable. And I don't know the customs of how crows deal with their dead, or corvids, but you know, macrocosm, microcosm. I just wanted to show some love and shit. And it's just crazy, cuz you know, I've seen some dead bodies, and I'm not just talking about funerals and shit, you know, shit just happens. The one I saw up close was it reminded me of that, because the person who had transitioned to another life A family member was out of town. This person was home alone. She came back from her vacation and this person was gone. This person was very sick. And I was one of the first people to rush over to her house, dog, and be there. Then one of my aunts was there. I don't remember which one of us showed up first while the ambulance was on their way. But it was different, yo, because since I was a little kid, the person who had lost their life, like, I would see them. Like, I didn't like going to church, but I would see them every Sunday. I would see them for holidays and get-togethers. And the last time I saw them, that shit was rough, dog. And this was like a while ago. This was like a year ago or something, so I don't even know why I'm fucking crying about it now. Because me and this person weren't like super close, but like, you know, I admired them, you know? They was quiet. Could tell they lived through a lot. And then I'm sitting here doing this fucking eulogy for a crow, saying I hope this was enough. And it's not just about a crow, dog. It's not. It's about the principle. It's about the fact that the only reason this life can be unforgiving is because of the sentient people in it. And we're all susceptible to each other. And no matter what, at the end of the day, whether you a fucking Trump supporter, Kamala supporter, Biden supporter, black, white, trans, cis, non-binary, I don't give a fuck, dog. Whether you got allies in your corner or whether your back is in the motherfucking corner against everybody, we're all going into this shit alone. We come into this life alone. We might die with people around us, but you don't know if you'll actually meet your end alone with nobody there. And that's the principle I'm talking about. So if you know, you know. If you don't, then go experience life more, cuz. Shut up, I'm wetting my notepaper. I'm so sick of the fake shit in this world, cuz, like, yeah, nobody's perfect. I made my mistakes, did my fake shit too. Everybody got their shit going on, cuz the least you could do is be compassionate enough to show somebody out there the shit that you never got. You might be hurting, but we don't gotta take it out on everybody. We don't gotta take it out on each other. Get that shit figured out, cuz whether you believe in something or not, one day your cells are just gonna stop physically functioning, and that's it. All of us need to find some sort of anchor, dog. Some sort of anchor. Because one thing that's always proven through time and cycles of history is that we all gonna fucking hate each other until some shit pop off. And then we got a common enemy. And then a couple years later, we go back to the same bullshit. And everybody grow at their own pace. But something about that last night, dog, it triggered something in me, man. Something that's always been there, but something that just needed to come out. And maybe I'm feeling this because a repeating pattern is that the people who I admire, who I recognize in life, because they don't go out of their way fucking with nobody. They don't go out of their way talking shit online behind a keyboard, especially in this day and age where people grow up and that's all they know. Like they came, like my generation, like them late millennials, I'm a 90s kid, cuz like we grew up in real life as well as the transition to this digital age. And there's one thing that I'll say that I understand about the cycle of generations that come before when they say back in my day and shit like that, dog. Well, back in my day, we didn't do shit behind the keyboard. We didn't hate each other behind the keyboard. And I'm not shaming nobody, cuz, you know, I've been a victim of trolling and I've trolled myself, dog. I grew up in the age where I get called all kinds of slurs and it come from my own home just because I'm literally better than somebody else at a video game. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then on the other hand, I grew up in person with people who would unalive somebody because they were weak-willed and had their ego hurt because they would lose in a football video game. Like, and I'm not shaming nobody. I don't hate nobody. It's just, dog, I see the bigger picture now, cuz. But anyway, I laid this Corvid to rest. Did my little meditation. Did my custom mudra. Did my custom prayer. I'll share that to you if you want to hear it one day. I'm probably going to share it anyway. But I did that shit. And I stuck to my word, dog. And it's crazy because I buried life from above. And then a couple minutes ago, I buried life from below. I had to deal with an intrusive mouse. And at the end of the day, the mouse don't know it's being annoying, probably. That nigga just trying to survive. Excuse my language, but I said what I said. I ain't worried about no fucking monetization shit. What's this car just sitting in the middle of the street for, cuz? Like, oh. I might have sounded like I went on an unintelligible tirade, but this is meant for people who just get it. This ain't meant for nobody who finna argue with themselves about spirituality or gender or race or politics. I said what the fuck I said. I came into this life without a following. I'll leave this life with or without one. Speaking my truth, as they say. And don't get me wrong. I don't resonate with everybody spiritual out there. We all got shit. I'm just saying, like, have an anchor of compassion. I'm not paranoid, I'm just careful, dog. People just be on some weird shit sometimes. I don't know, this is like a 20-minute video. But anybody who got the time to sit down and watch it will. I literally dealt with death from above and from below in the span of 24 hours. And I think what triggered the crying last night was the fact that I was sitting there like, it's so easy to wish harm on people I consider enemies. But it is so fucking hard to bury people you consider an ally, dog. Like, what the fuck? Whether it's a crow, pigeon, human. And this is just to take a shot at the all lives matter people. Like, literally embody that shit if you're going to say it. Stop wasting your time and everybody else's. I can't control nobody's fate and stuff. This is just my note. I just rolled it up. I don't know, if you got questions and whatnot, just ask them. Let's start up a conversation. Maybe I didn't clarify something for you, but this is more so for me. No clickbait thumbnails of funny ass copycat faces. No clickbait description, dog. When you see enough shit, dog, you realize that what matters to you shifts. And you just kind of hope that other people find something similar in their own lives, in their own timelines, without controlling it. So, I don't know. If this struck something with you, or within you, then big shout goes out to you. I'm going to go finish my note, and then I'm going to go burn my note as part of a inhalation exhalation ritual. Thanks for hearing this.